Right now, okay, we're going to start with grayscale, okay? The next session we're going to use colors, right? So what you can do from here, I'm going to alternate backspace, okay, to create some selection area, okay, from here. We can use also more darker kind of tone, okay? Oops. It works only on this white colors there. Let me fill out first. Okay. A bit more lighter there, right? Okay. Once I actually fill up the shapes like this, guys. Okay. So whenever that you want to paint later on, okay, you're not actually going to be worried about whether the what we call that the areas that you're going to paint are going to be outside from those what we call that the space or not, right? And the other thing around that we can do also, right? Okay, normally what I did, right? I will basically make another selection areas like this, very rough kind of selection areas, just to want to separate between the hair and the faces. Okay. Because this is basically one of the illustration that I do. I will basically copy and paste. Just select basically the areas of these faces only, but the body are going to be defined later on. Alright, okay. So from here, I can make another selections. Control and click to the layers there, right? Control and click to the layers. Of course, okay. The references back again. So I will duplicate that first, make sure that I actually select copy, select all, copy and paste. Okay, I'm not going to use this one. Okay, this one already I'm going to use as a guide at first. Okay, as a guide for us then, okay, especially on the shading spot. So what I'm going to do over here next, make the selection back again to the faces there. If you worry that you make mistakes, add another layer only for shades there. Okay, shadows kind of shades there. So what I can do from here, as I actually mentioned to you guys, I'm going to use soft round, hard round, or hard round brush, but you can actually test all these 4 brushes. Okay. To paint, to define the shadows there. I'm going to start with soft brushes there first, because this is the most standard kind of brushes. Okay, and then the flows back again. Change the flows into 4 to 5%, okay? And then, of course, you cannot just shade like this, okay? To define them. For example, you have these colors over here, and then you, what we call that, lower basically the tone back again. But you cannot shades like this, guys, okay, to define them. You have to define a bit more space. And of course, okay, normally I can actually reduce, increase until more darker, okay, because what we are using basically those flows around 6% or 5%. So basically we have more control on our shadings there. So overall, basically I'm going to define the areas of shading, and you have to define the light. You saw basically the highlight spot are going to be on top, and the light came from the right side a bit. So that's for me, okay, from these directions, they have multiple kind of lighting. This is a studio lighting there, okay? 1, 2, and back light at the same times. So what I can do is our job is to define the areas there, that define the shadows. Adjust the size at the same times. Okay, if you take a look right now, how actually I define the shadows here. Some of the areas I press a little bit, some of the areas I lose a little bit there. Okay, to define the shadows there. So zoom in a little bit from here. Okay, the areas of those nose, normally we actually have to reduce a little bit the size. And when I draw the strokes there, I can see right here, when I actually define the strokes, I try to move according to the structure there, see? That's how basically we define the what we call that, the form, okay, of some of the structures, complex structure that you saw from those references. All right. So the back eye there, okay, of shadows there. Same thing, okay. Move into the curved line like this, okay, to differentiate basically the formation of the shadows there. Okay, all those kind of movements that you create from these particular kind of strokes will define your detailings there, right? Okay, of course, some people they basically they are not passionate enough, okay, to wait, okay, until those results going to be appear on those painting there, right? So they will see, okay, why basically doesn't look the same, okay? You have to relax first. Don't be panicked there, okay, when you draw or paint there, okay? What you can do, okay, from this part, okay, I will paint according to the structures or the flows from those chin there, okay, to define basically the strokes. And you blend it out there, okay, as well, while you paint, and move back again to the top right here there, okay, to develop basically those kind of shadows kind of volume from here there, okay. They will define, okay, slowly, okay, those areas that you want to paint. Once basically you let it up together there, okay. Okay, this particular kind of what we call that steps really need basically your focus there, okay. That's why we're now using basically there's flow around 5%, soft brushes, and depending also on your what we call that pressure point, okay. When you paint, they will give slowly. They will form basically the right kind of shapes or shapes that can be enhanced more further on your painting and drawing there, okay. So that's why basically we have to focus, okay, a lot while we paint. Okay, normally I didn't stop with the faces there. Please basically make sure you try to define also some areas of pain, okay, right now from other areas there, okay. This is basically, this is also some of the thing that people always worry there, okay, to works, okay. If you look at this part there, okay, this one, it can be a hard shadows there, okay. What we can do to define them, I'm going to use hard round pressure brushes later on that to works, okay. Soft brushes to cover the whole areas there first to make the whole form going to be look more defining there, okay. And of course, okay, the light that came from the neck is very less. So what you can do to paint it up, I will paint like this first, see, move in the U shapes there, okay, or V shapes there, and then I will define some of those areas that really focus a lot on drop the shadow, okay, when the shadows drops, okay, on those what we call that neck there first, okay. Don't worry about those skin that are what we call that the clothes there, okay. You actually can make some selections and paint later on using different layers that it works. So from here, slowly you adjust basically your size and paint a bit more darker there, okay. Make sure that they define a bit more darker from here. But when you want to check back again that areas that, okay, when you paint, see, I try to still going to use a V shape or U shapes kind of formations, okay. Take a look at your references all the time, okay. Don't basically just imagine that, okay, first, okay, how I want you to paint this one, okay, and this area is, okay, a bit more darker to form basically this some muscle kind of structures from there, right. So all this kind of thing will help, okay. Some of the areas a bit more out from those strokes, don't worry, you can erase this one, okay, from there. So if you look back again, how I actually define this part there, right, to show basically those nerve, I think the nerve there, right, okay, on those neck there, right, okay. And that's basically also things that you have to take care of, okay, during the process. Okay, this part, the middle there, right, is a bit more darker. So what you can do, press a little bit. But using 5% of brushes, they will give more better kind of control. It's all about how to control that, guys. Okay, now basically the lips, okay, this area is a bit more darker there, right. So you just paint them up first, This one you can blend a little bit there. Make sure when you paint the lips, okay, the tone, even though in grayscale, are going to be more difference than the skin tone, okay, unless there's a hard shadow from here, okay. So next, okay, this part right here, just press a little bit there. If you're not so basically, okay, those kind of what you call that, the tone, you just can increase basically the flows. Okay, that's how basically you control basically the pressures from here. Okay, now the eyes itself, okay, a bit more darker from here, okay, generally. Okay, just paint it out. Don't worry, okay, sometimes people doesn't afraid to paint or to add some shadows right here, okay, when you actually look at the references, okay, why? Because they thought basically their eyes are going to be look like a panda, okay, but it's not. Okay, you define first properly, and of course you're having the layers over here, but you have to be afraid, alright. See the layers over there, alright. So these layers basically will give more kind of separations. Okay, you're afraid to make mistakes, the layers will help you, okay, to define them. So try to organize them. I will try to use at least 4 to 5 layers only to manage basically my working file.